I welcome back everyone. Today in this class we shall discuss about software engineering with properties and set and get accessors. Okay. First let us see software engineering with properties. There are properties in all the languages. Here in C# there are two reasons to use the concept of properties. We know the access specifiers, which is going to limit the field where to be accessed, isn't it? In case if a member of a class is declared as private, what is the logic? It cannot be accessed anywhere outside the block actually where it is declared, isn't it? If a member is declared within a method, then outside of the method the member cannot be accessed. If it is within the class, then outside of the class it cannot be accessed. So this is what the logic of using the access specifier private. At that time we have to think how other classes can able to read, write or compute those members. Okay. To avoid these drawbacks, in case if the member is declared as public, then again there are some difficulties. We have to think about the security, isn't it? Whoever can misuse that members. So these are the difficulties while we use access specifier either as private or public. Here properties are the special type of class members which provides a flexible mechanism to read, write or compute the value of a private field. Okay. Properties can be used if they are public data members, but they are actually special type of methods called accessors. Okay. And these accessors provides the flexibility and safety of methods. To achieve this, it uses some predefined methods which are get and set methods. Okay, so these are the two methods which are used to access the data members easily, and also these methods helps to access and modify the properties. So these methods are called predefined methods. Predefined methods means it has defined already, it has the source code what it should be done. Okay, just we can use the method. Let us see about accessors. Accessor is nothing but the block of set and get is known as accessor. There will be block of source code either for set or get method. That block of source code is called accessor. Okay. Here it is very essential or necessary to restrict the accessibility of the property. There are two types of accessors as we said already, get accessor and set accessor. Okay. And also there are different types of properties which is based on the get and set accessors. First one, read and write properties. Second one, read only properties. Third one, write only properties. And the fourth one, auto implementation properties. If it is read and write properties, then there will be used both get and set methods. If it is read only, then get method alone will be used. If it is write only, then only set method will be used. Okay. If it is auto implementation properties, there will be no any changes in the logic of properties. Okay. The default thing will be used. So these are the four types of properties which is based on the get and set accessors. This is the syntax for defining property. Here first part is access modifier, second part is return type, third part is property name. Okay. You know very well about access modifier. It can be either private, public, protected likewise, and then return type is nothing but any valid data type or else void, and then property name is nothing but user defined property name. Okay. And then open curly brace, then get method is used. It is a predefined method. Within a block we can include the source code. As like get, here set is used. It can have its own block. Okay. And then close curly brace for the property name. So this is what the syntax to define the properties, where as I told you, access modifier is nothing but any valid access specifiers such as public, private, protected or internal. Return type is any valid C# data type. Property name is user defined property. The name can be given by user. This is what the explanation about the syntax. And then we shall see get and set accessor. Get implementation must include a return statement. It can access any member on the class. Okay. So if we use get method, it should use return statement to return the value. So using this get method, using the statement return, we can access any value of the class. Okay. And then set implementation receives the implicit argument value. Okay. In case if the value is given from the main class or anywhere else, it will be received and assigned to the variable within this set method. Okay, this is the example for get and set method using system namespace and then class name example. Within the class we have declared one variable called number as integer data type and then public int number. So this is what actually the property declaration. Okay, as we see in the syntax, the first one is access specifier and then return type. Here is a property name and then open curly brace. Here get is defined with open close bracket. Within that there is a statement return this dot number. Okay, so return statement should be used. The value which is having by this variable will be returned back to the calling statement. And the next method is set, which is defined with the statement this dot number equal to value, where the value of this variable will be assigned to the variable this dot number. Okay, and then the set is closed and then we have closed the property definition and then class is closed. Okay, next let us see class program. This is a main class where public static void main is included. Within this main class we are creating the object for subclass. Okay, the subclass name is example. So for the class example we are creating the object here example ex equal to new example. Okay, using the object we are going to assign the value for the variable number. Okay, this kind of initialization we have discussed already in the types of object initialization, isn't it? So this type is called by reference, so that the object dot variable name equal to 5. During this statement execution, the set method will be called and the value will be assigned to the variable number. Okay, and then next line console.writeLine ex.number is given. Okay, just we are displaying the value of ex.number. During the statement execution, the get method will be executed. At that time it is going to display the answer. Okay, it is going to read the value and will display the answer. Okay, so this is what the execution of this program. Here the output is 5. This is what the way of using get and set methods for using accessors. Okay, next let us see constructor and destructor. You might be familiar on this concept called constructor and destructor, isn't it? Let us see one by one. First let us see constructor. Constructor is nothing but a smaller unit of source code for a specific task. As like method, here constructor is also going to be created to perform a specific task. Okay, it is also can be defined as a smaller unit of source code to perform a specific task. But here the constructor name should be same as to the class name, whereas the method name should not be same as to the class name, but constructor name should be same as to the class name. Okay, as we know, the constructor will be created while user creating an object for the class. At that time it will create all the components whatever it needs for the class. Okay, there are 3 types of constructors. First one default constructor, second one empty constructor, third one parameterized constructor. We shall see one by one. First one default constructor. You just imagine if any user creating a source code but he does not created a constructor within the class. At that time while creating the object, a compiler will automatically generate a constructor within the class. That kind of constructor is called default constructor. Okay, that is, while there is no constructor defined already within the class, a default constructor will be created by the compiler while creating the object for that particular class. That type of constructor is called default constructor. Here is a syntax for default constructor, where keyword class with class name and then open curly brace, then public static void main string arguments, again open curly brace. Within the main, here the class name is given, it is called a constructor. The name will be same as to the class name. Okay, it has a block and then the main and class is closed with the respective close curly brace. Okay, so this is what the syntax for default constructor. This will not be created by the user. While there is no constructor within the class, compiler will automatically generate this constructor. Okay, so this is what the first type. Let us see the second type, that is empty constructor. If a constructor which is created within the class without any parameters, then it is called empty constructor or parameterless constructor. Okay, let us see the syntax. Class, class name, open curly brace, public static void main string arguments, open curly brace. Here the class name is given, which is same as to the class name. Okay, but within the bracket there is no any parameters, but it may have the block. Okay, whereas the default constructor will not have the block of statements, but empty constructor may have the block of statements. Okay, and then main and classes closed with respective close curly braces. So this is what the syntax for empty constructor. Let us see the example. Here class name is student and then public static void main. Here student is given as constructor name without any parameters, and it has a block of source code. Within that, two variables are declared with integer data type and assigned with the values 70 and 90 respectively. Okay, and the next statement is int c equal to m1 plus m2. Two values are added and the answer is stored in the variable c. And the next line is console.writeLine c. The value of c will be displayed as an answer. Okay, so this is what the example program. And the next type of constructor is parameterized constructor, which is same as to the empty constructor, but here the constructor will have the parameter. Okay, if a constructor is defined within the class along with its arguments or parameters, then it is known as parameterized constructor. Here is a syntax: class name, public static void main string arguments. Within that the class name is given as a constructor, and then within the constructor they have been given the arguments, argument 1 and then argument 2. Okay, and it may also have the block of statements. So this type of constructor is called parameterized constructor. Let us see an example. Class student, public static void main string arguments. Here student is defined as a constructor with the parameters int m1 comma int m2. Okay, the values will be passed while the constructor is called. When the constructor will be called? While we create the object. So while we create the object, the defined constructor will be called. At that time we have to pass the value for the constructor. These things we have seen briefly while we discuss about the object initialization, isn't it? There are three types of object initialization, that is by reference, by method and then by constructor. At that time we were discussed briefly about these things. When the constructor will be called, how the constructor should be called, at that time how the values should be passed, everything, isn't it? Okay, fine. Now let us see here. This is what the constructor definition. Within that, two variables a and b are declared with the data type integer, and then a is assigned with the value m1 and then b is assigned with the value of m2. And the next statement, int c equal to a plus b. A, b values are added and the answer is in c variable. In next line we are displaying the value of c as an answer. Okay, so this is what the example program for parameterized constructor. Next thing is destructor. Destructor is just reverse to the constructor. While we create the constructor, it will create all the components whatever needs by the class, isn't it? Whereas while we call the destructor, while we execute the destructor, all the created components of that particular class will be destroyed. That is what the purpose of using destructor. Destructor is also a smaller unit of source code used to destroy all the components which are created by the constructor. And here the destructor name is also same as to the class name, but it should be preceded with the tilde symbol. Okay, the syntax for destructor is class name, public static void main and then class name. What is given as class name should be as the destructor name. Okay, but it should be preceded with tilde symbol. This way of definition is called destructor. Why the destructor is used? It is to destroy all the components what are created by the constructor, whereas constructor is used to declare all the components which are needs by the class. Okay, so in this class we have discussed about the software engineering with properties and then get set accessors. Afterwards we have seen the constructor and then destructor. Okay, I hope you will be clear on this concept. I'll meet you next class. Thank you.